I'm Micah Consulman, and this is my ECE 5750 mini project. This project looks at various methods of using impulse response and modeling techniques in order to create digital audio effects. I took the impulse response of several systems. Then I convolved a test sample with them. Here's the unaffected sample. You will hear the convolved clip immediately followed by the clip sampled through the original unit. These samples turned out pretty well, so I wanted to see if I could use a variation of this method to model effects that were not linear. The system I chose was a guitar amplifier. I used a method called dynamic convolution, which basically looks at how a system responds to an impulse at different threshold levels. Here are the impulses for 6 bits worth of sampling, or 64 levels, and what it sounds like. And here are the samples that have been passed through the guitar amp. You may have noticed that these samples are really close together. That's because I noticed that the impulse responses seem to ring at very specific frequencies. So I theorized that if you put them together close enough, you could approximate some of the additive distortion found in the amp. The process of dynamic convolution is really pretty simple. I just convolved each incoming sample with the impulse response of the same level, and then overlapped and added for the final result. So here's what the effect sounds like. This is the original undistorted guitar clip. Here is the processed output signal. The process sounds pretty good, but it takes a really long time. So I decided I would try a different method, which would handle each stage of the amplifier's process using a different tool. First, I applied a high-pass Butterworth filter to mimic the effects that distortion has on the low end of the signal. Then I implemented a modified model of a typical tube distortion, published by CCRMA. Then I convolved that with the impulse response from a guitar cabinet. Just for a comparison, here's that same sample through the original amp. I gotta say, this method sounds pretty awesome. So to put all of this into application, I put together a short piece of music. MATLAB isn't intended for real-time processing, so I used some other software. So here are the original samples with no DSP. And here are those same samples processed using the DSP methods shown in this project. I'm Micah Consulman, and this has been my ECE 5750 mini project.